So in this lesson, I'm going to show you guys how to add and subtract functions. So we're adding or we're subtracting these two functions. Sometimes we're just going to leave it as an x like this, and it's like we're just going to be adding these two things. Other times we'll be plugging in some number for x. Okay, just depends on whatever the problem says. So I remember this little segment last year. This was one of the toughest for the kids. It's not too bad, the actual math of it, but the homework assignment it's quite big. So I think there's 4 parts to this assignment. So pay attention and see if you can follow along. All right, so instead of saying f plus g of x, what you could do is you could rewrite it as f of x plus g of x. All right, and f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. All right, 3x minus 4. And g of x is equal to negative 4x minus 7. All right, negative 4x minus 7. And you'll notice here I'm not putting these in parentheses. When you're adding them, you actually don't have to. But when you're subtracting them, like down here, it is going to be important that you put them in parentheses. All right, so now that it's like this, we're just going to combine like terms. All right, so 3x and negative 4x is going to make negative x. Negative 4 and negative 7 will make negative 11. All right, so that is f plus g of x right there. So for f plus g of 4, there's 2 ways to do this. One way is you could rewrite it first. So you could say f of 4 plus g of 4. And this is simple enough to do. You could just plug in 4 for x on the f function. So f of 4 would be 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 4, that's 8. All right, that was just for that piece. Then plus, because you're adding them, g of 4, if you plug in 4 for x, you would have negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, and then negative 16 minus 7 would be negative 23, I believe. All right, and then 8 plus negative 23 would be negative 15. Yep. All right, now the other way that you could have figured this out, instead of breaking it down into f of 4 and g of 4, is since you know f plus g of x is this over here, you could just plug in 4 for x on this. So pretend you did that. All right, negative 4 minus 11, and that would give you negative 15. All right, so because you did all the difficult math up here, in the general form, it makes it easier for plugging in numbers later. So I think that's how I'm going to do the rest of these. All right, so f plus g of negative 8. I'm going to go up to my f plus g function and replace the x with a negative 8. So instead of an x, I got a negative 8 minus 11. All right, negative 8 is positive 8. And then positive 8 minus 11 is negative 3. F plus g of 0, you would just be plugging in 0 for x. And so that'd be 0 minus 11. So negative 11. So it's up to you how you want to do this. Like I said, you could either use the f plus g function, which you found up here, and that's going to be the faster way. Or you could do, f of 0 plus g of 0. It's up to you how you want to do it. All right. So in this one, we're doing g minus f of x. So first we got to rewrite it as g of x minus f of x. All right, and then this time I am going to put these in parentheses. So g of x is first. So I've got negative 4x minus 7. All right, that's my g of x. And then a minus sign. And then f of x, I'm going to put in parentheses. So 3x minus 4. See, the first set of parentheses you actually don't have to have in parentheses, but the second one you do because you're minusing this whole thing. So you're going to have to distribute a -1 to each sign in here. Let's see. I don't have enough space to write it over here. If I drop the parentheses on the first one, -4x minus 7, and then I'm going to distribute the negative in. So this becomes a -3x, and I'm minusing a -4, or I'm just changing the sign. So that becomes a +4. All right, now I'm just going to combine terms. So -4x and -3x make -7x. -7 plus 4 is -3. So this is my g minus f function. All right. So for g minus f of 0, I could do g of 0 minus f of 0, but I'm just going to use this function. I'm just going to plug in 0. -7 times 0 is 0, and then 0 minus 3, -3. G minus f of 2, just plugging in 2 for x. So I'm going to have -7, and then a 2 for x, then -3. This is -14. -14 minus 3 is -17. All right. So on the minus ones, make sure you put these in parentheses. Make sure you write it in the right order too. It's g minus f, not f minus g. Then use your little distributive property right there, and you should be golden.